Hi, everybody. It's Friday. I thought I would come on super random because normally I do a live on Wednesday and Friday. And I wanted to connect with anybody who wanted to just kind of regroup at the end of the week and get some support. And how can we all come together to support one another after sometimes a very intense week? Middle Eastern people work very hard. I think for the most part, that's something that's very well known, at least here in the United States. And I wanted to talk about the toll that it may take in being everything to everyone. So are people joining? I'm just hopping on here super random. City Sunday, I'm going to talk about family dynamics. Dun, 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 dun. Anybody want to talk about Middle Eastern family dynamics? Super intense. I wanted also to say, do you come from a family system where they constantly, oh, hi, Lady D, where are you coming from? I like connecting with anybody who's hopping on. This is a Friday night fun. We're just chilling today. We're not doing anything. This is a free for all for anybody that follows me. Canada, I love that. That's amazing. I love knowing. Hi, Dave. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Let's talk about some. You guys can ask me some questions. I just hopped on randomly. I wanted to talk about actually family dynamics. Do any of you guys have family members or parents who talk about their death constantly? That's very nice of you. So do you guys have parents that will constantly say, "Laman ana bamut, I'm doing this for you, Ashan ana," at some point, and they're healthy and they're whole, and they just keep ruminating on this impending death. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because many times in Middle Eastern family dynamics, they may use this "Laman ana amut" as like a way to manipulate and control. I don't even think they're conscious of it. And oh, sorry, let's see. Your father was like that since you were a kid, and it gave me a sense of responsibility for his life. That's why I'm coming on here to talk about this. Thank you so much for saying that. Because when you're a kid and your family, one of the family members say that or both, you may feel an intense amount of responsibility or guilt. And this may inadvertently, because nobody wants their parents to die. Nobody wants their parents to suffer. And yet it's instilled in us that somehow their living is contingent upon us being there for them up until their death. Now, what does that mean to you? Sometimes you're sacrificing your life for them. And I understand that that's a cultural norm. That's a cultural expectation. Yet this morning I was thinking about at what cost? At what cost? And at some point, when do we ask ourselves that this guilt that we may feel or this shame that we may feel that we're failing them because of this impending death, you don't necessarily ever get out of that shame cycle because it's looming over you. Yes, that you said, I think it's a double-edged sword. I took care of my dad until his last day. Yeah, but it was a mix of love and impending doom. I hear you. My heart really, really, really goes out to you because I too understand that. So for those of you that are just hopping on, my name is Tiffany Tota. If I have started this platform, Community for International Arab, I'm a Palestinian American marriage and family therapist. And I started this community because I noticed that there wasn't a space for us to talk about these things and the implications on many of us on our emotional health and well-being. So I was just putting it out there. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. I was like, let me just hop on and kind of share some random thoughts. And one of them was, what we were talking about is like when our parents constantly put over our head their impending death. And that is extremely intense. And it's a dynamic, like how do you get out of that? And how do you not get sucked into to the shame of constantly worrying about if they're going to die. Am I being the good daughter, being the good son? Am I doing all the right things? Because we know through other videos that I've done that that is just a endless, bottomless pit that you can never fill for them. Never. And many of us, I'm over 50, I'm still doing it, lahalkiyat, spending a lifetime really trying to feel for them a void that truly they need to feel for themselves. And that's why I started this community, because anyone that has children or anyone thinking of having children, or if you, it's about not about the prior generation, it's about the generations moving forward. How do we stop this dynamic so that the next generation doesn't hold all this responsibility? It's too much. Let's see. What I've learned with my mom is being adamant on her understanding she isn't entitled to my time. Oh my gosh, yeah, but share how you did that, right? You carefully, because sometimes if we push too much on our parents, they may have a vehement response towards us around that. Doesn't mean you don't set the boundary. You know, people say, how do you set boundaries with the Arabi parent? And I say, carefully. I'm not speaking as a Western therapist. Yes, I'm in the United States, but I'm talking that it's sort of like, even this morning, my father was saying all this stuff to me. And I said, you know what, Dad? And I was finding my nervous system getting really, really dysregulated. And I said, you know what, Baba, I'm so sorry. Can I please give you a call back? Because I knew if I stayed on that conversation, like that call, just a wee bit longer, perhaps my emotional intensity would have come out, or I would have acted in a way that would have been more hurtful than me just setting the boundary and saying, hey, let me call you back when I'm in a more better space. Can anyone relate to that? Anyone who's, looks like there's more people than I thought joining on this Friday night. Hi, everybody. Where are people calling in from? Where are people coming in from? We've got Canada. Let's see. I usually get on my lives on City Sunday and the UAE. Yes, there's many people from the UAE. Welcome. Love that. Oh, Reem, you're on. Hi, Reem. My mom has more respect for my sister who sets boundary and tells her no. Oh my gosh, Reem. Exactly. Because people will do to you what you allow them to. And they tend to respect more the person with the boundary. Let's see. We've got Egypt in the house. Palestine. It's midnight though. I know. That's why I thought, who's going to be on here? Have you been to Damascus? No Damascus, but welcome. I love that. Egypt. Usually Sundays I'm joined by my assistant Mira, and she is from Egypt and she is amazing. 2 a.m. You guys are up late. Goodness. Well, anybody have any topic ideas? I know this Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be talking about family dynamics. Hi, is that Rana? Hi, Rana Jordan. If I pronounce that correctly, I think that says that. Mira usually is here to assist me. Anybody have any questions, or anybody want to ask me a random question about emotional health and mental health? I'm here. It's Friday. I finished all my clients, so I thought, let me hop on and see if I could maybe offer someone some encouraging words. Let's see, I'm in Los Angeles, so what time is it? I think it's 2, maybe? Sometimes, I was thinking about, do I use the DSM with my clients? Well, that's a loaded question. So technically, I'm supposed to use the DSM. And I use it very loosely, Ramo. I use it very, very loosely because I find that labeling is disabling. And I would prefer to work with my clients outside of a diagnostic category. Unless they feel like it's important to use it within that context, then I will. But typically, no. Because life is hard enough without being labeled in these ways. So yes, I'll be launching a series of workshops coming up in April. Super excited. I've collaborated with multiple therapists. So managing anxiety, another one on cultural expectations and norms and how they impact our mental health, one on the autonomic nervous system, which the tools are amazing. And I do that in a collaboration with my colleague, Nina. I'm also doing one with another colleague of mine, Nuda Bermudez. She's amazing. She is going to be doing on burnout, which I know for many of us in our Middle Eastern, we're burnt out. Many of us are burnt to the crisp and we don't even know about that. Let's see. Can you talk about social anxiety? Because I feel scared to talk to people in uni. I don't know why though. Well, without knowing you, welcome to the Samsung Center. I don't know your name, but thank you for sharing that. Social anxiety typically is first, it's very normal for us to feel nervous when we're first meeting people. And many times it comes always comes from our early childhood experiences on what being in social gatherings were like. Within our Middle Eastern culture, in general, everybody gets mad at me. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Like whatever I say, insu. If I say something that you guys think is stupid or it doesn't resonate with you, just say, okay, hey, khali mashi. But anyway, growing up, many times we were in these social situations where if we didn't act perfectly or if we didn't be exactly who our parents wanted us to be, it was met with shame, judgment, ridicule. Maybe you had cousins that were mean and you were introverted and maybe they were more extroverted and they put you down. So part of it is thinking about what your early childhood experiences was in social settings. So now you're grown up and you're at the university and you're feeling very, very uncomfortable. That takes a lot of building of your self-confidence. Most of the time, I always tell my clients who struggle with social anxiety, I said, look, people are they are picking up on your discomfort. And more often than not, when they're like moving away or they think they're causing you discomfort. And so then you with social anxiety internalize them walking away as something about you. But you have to remember, people can sense when you're uncomfortable and most people are good-hearted and they don't want to put you in that position. So this is where you stay present, you breathe through it, ask questions, and that's just a quick snippet, just to be aware. What was my experience like growing up? Let's see, Ramo, let's see. Do you think it's always correct to blame childhood? I feel like there are a lot of other factors. Look, I tend to move away from blame and look at solving the problem. Most of the time, our nervous systems were developing in our childhood. So this is where it's understanding your body and your safety. And yes, it could be lots of factors, external factors, where you were living, the environments you were at, resources. And yet all those things stem back to childhood, if that makes sense. So within your own childhood, there's so many factors that contribute to how you may be moving today. So I like to see it as not blame, but awareness. Oh, I'm glad that actually helped. There's lots of resources on social anxiety, but this for you, I would say probably a good idea to start building some confidence. And how do you do that? By regulating your nervous system. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Is that Signora? I'm sorry. I don't know. Let's see. I can't take decisions. Always afraid of results. Okay. I have a whole video on my YouTube, the link in bio. I'm not going to go over that now because I did a whole Siddhi Sunday on our inability to make decisions. And there's tips and tricks all on that video. I hope that will be helpful. Let's see. These comments are going pretty fast. Let's see. Welcome everybody. Let's see. I don't see any questions here. Let me see. Let me go back a little bit. Ramo, did that answer your question if you're still on the live? Yeah, childhood, because that's where our nervous systems begin. I always go back to childhood. What were your experiences? What happened? Where were you? How were your parents? Whoever raised you, what went on with that? Let's see. All right, you guys, if there's nothing else, I wish you all a very good evening and a good day wherever you are. I just thought I would come on real quick, say thank you to this community, how much I appreciate being able to come on here and talk about mental health and talk about our emotional health, because it always comes from a place of wanting us to heal and to do better as a community. Let's see, can I give certificates for people following my workshop? No, unfortunately, I can't give any CEUs or anything like that. Credits or certificates. However, I can make one if you guys want, but it won't be anything official. Any other questions before I log off on this Friday? Anything else? Any future topics you guys want me to talk about? Any future topics? Let's see. Can we cut contact? I'm not sure what that means. When society is tough, so tough, after retired, stay home, a good choice. Oh, yeah, well, I often think that our isolation is a form of self-protection. However, I'm a firm believer is how do we increase our capacity to participate in life to whatever degree that we want to? And I get it. Isolation, because you're not dealing with everything, but it also stunts our growth. And for some people, it stunts their ability to really fully participate in life. And that to me is where it could be very sad. And let's see. Let's see. How to convince my religious, strict parents to move abroad to pursue my master's. I'm a girl. That's a tough one. And I wish I could answer that more succinctly. A lot of times, the parents, it's coming from fear. And and you have to ask your parents what they may be afraid of. For many people that I've worked with in the past, unfortunately, for them to be able to do those things, they did do it behind their parents' back and then they did leave. I'm not advocating that, but sometimes you may not be able to convince them, but maybe explore with them what their fears might be. And maybe you could work with your parents, depending on how open they are, how communicative they are, around what things you guys can build together to ensure that they feel less fearful. I mean, they will always feel fearful. You're their little girl and you're abroad, but to maybe mitigate some of that and perhaps talk to them about what that master's may give to you and how it may loop back into giving back to the family. Again, family dynamics are so complicated within our Middle Eastern culture for so many reasons that that was just a very really, without knowing your family, just some general guideline. If they're open to talking, I always encourage people from our culture to talk to the parents. But if this is something that you want to do, it may be getting support from other places to be able to do that. Let's see. Now the comments are going a little too fast. Let me see. I've been feeling distant from my parents, but I can't help it. But unfortunately, what should I do? Yeah, Aladdin, I totally understand that. There were times in my life where I literally felt so distant from my parents. I couldn't even be around them. It was so hard because I felt there were so many times that dynamic was so intense that distance I needed to do to create more safety. Now, part of that is, again, how open are they to talk about it? How open are you to share with them why there's distance? And if they're putting you down, hurting you, judging you, how can you strengthen within you to have it go in one ear and out the other? And that takes a long time to do. Trust me, my parents bihko, and it's like, boop, boop. But that took me decades. And then they catch you on a wrong day where you're tired, sleepy, overwhelmed, and you may have a reaction or you may retreat from them. And that's also very, very normal. So I hope that answered that very quickly. All right, you guys, looks like we're winding down over here on the live. Please find me City Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. We're going to be talking about family dynamics, sibling dynamics, and what that is, parental dynamics, cousin dynamics, and what that means in our Arab culture. So I wish you guys the best. Thanks for joining me. For those that did, this is so exciting, and I will see you on Sunday. If not, you can also catch me Wednesday on Wadih Wednesday. All right, everybody, have a good weekend.